I will say this. My next question is, what has been the hardest thing that you had to overcome in your life? Period. It don't even have to be tied to basketball. What is the thing that you had to overcome that if you didn't overcome that thing, it would have kind of destroyed you, or like a big obstacle in your life that challenged you to be better?
I say being looked over.
That's big right there.
See, me personally, like coming from the family that I come from, it was like most of the time, like it was about sports. So like I had to, and when I was always going to the gym with my dad, with all the older people.
Yeah.
So they always make little smart comments like I'm too small, like I can't play with them, I can't do what they do, cause my size. So me and my dad, looking at my dad play, like he's short, like he's a small dude.
Right.
So me looking at him and how he play and how he affect the game, like I always looked up to him because like basically heart over height.
I like that. Man, we're gonna have to put that down in the caption later on.
Yeah,
Hard on right.
I gotta testify to that, man, because I'm 6-7 years younger than y'all.
Yeah,
I was the
6.
same exact way, boy.
Yeah.
I get out the way. You can't. I remember one time I was at their house lifting weights. I wasn't lifting. I was watching them, and I just wanted to get under there and lift weights. But every time, nah, move, do this.
Yeah.
Now I'm probably stronger than both of them. So man, it's.
He said probably. He said probably. Don't get into it.
but that's how it go, man.
It
And
is.
I remember Sheridan, you said the same thing at my wedding. To be a great leader, you got to be a great follower. So sometimes it's not bad to be overlooked. That's a great thing because that motivated you. That drove you to be better. That was actually a good thing. So see those things as little wins in your life, man. And I know you say that's a big obstacle, but man, that's what you need to get you where you are right now.
It's crazy.
Man, that's real.
That was kind of the same with me. Which we'll talk about that later. That was like my football story.
Yeah.
As far as the size, like that's what hindered me from being farther.
Yeah.
I feel like I
farther.
could have made it. I feel like I could have made it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's a story for another day. But I just brought it up because that's the same thing. It was size with me too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. And it's crazy we talking about this because me and Mo just had a conversation outside about his height. And so I want to bring him in on the conversation because he had a good point. What is one thing that you tell him about his height all the time? Like, how do you feel like his height or his lack of height motivates him? Like, how does that affect his game?
You have to have something different to make up the height.
Yeah.
So when Jason was a little kid, I used to tell him, like, son, you ain't finna be 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that don't mean you can't be no legitimate threat on the floor.
True.
So the first thing, like when you have kids, is really being honest with yourself about your own child.
Yeah.
Don't try to put all these high speculations up on your child when you know, especially if it's not in them.
Yeah.
But if it's something in them, it's up to us to push it out of them, to bring it out of them. But the thing about it is, the way you approach it is, I mean, when you have a talented son, it's hard sometimes, especially when you're in the married world.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like a tug at times. Because I knew what was in my son that didn't nobody know at the time. But I knew what he was going to amount to be. So the way I approached him was totally different. So I had to work on him. I had to stay on him. Not let him make it on nothing. Like, don't let him make no excuses on nothing. Because I always taught him, like, son, you got to be better than everybody out there on the floor to make up your height. You can't make as many mistakes as everybody else. It sucks, but let's be honest, that's the real world. That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
So, by that being said, and then I just can't talk about me still playing the game. My son got to see me live it. So, I can't tell him to be a dog, then he see his daddy play. His daddy, man, nah, daddy, you ain't doing that. Like, you tell me, nah. Because it's like an example. Like, son, I'm going to show you where your game come from or where your dog come from.
Yeah.
You got the example in front of your face. But not only that, it's the pushing. Like, my wife and I push Jason. Like, it's constantly like motivating him
Mm.
because we know the behind the scenes that don't nobody know.
Yeah.
People only know
Yeah.
You
the
get me
after
preaching on that
effects.
topic.
They
right
don't
there,
they don't
so,
understand like
Yeah.
the late nights when you getting overlooked. Or,
Speak.
you going out averaging 20, 25 points
Speak.
a game, and I mean, but yet you still getting overlooked.
Yeah.
But yet you doing everything you supposed to do. Yet you still working hard, but over time, as a child, it becomes discouraging,
Mhm.
and that's where the parents come in at the support system.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, the behind the scenes, like the conversations that my wife and I had to have with Jason, like because it got bad sometimes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't know, like it got real tough for my son because he constantly gets overlooked. But yet, when he step out on the court, his skill level is next to none.
Yeah.
Speak for itself.
Right.
Hard
And-
to miss that.
Like I tell my son, don't none good come easy. You got to
Yeah.
work for something.
Yeah.
So, and it's like that in the real world.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't make excuses just results. But as having a young man, my thing is like to tell all the other parents, like, stay on your child. Like, don't let them make excuses.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's gonna hurt. It's really gonna hurt you to get on your son. I mean, or your daughter. But don't let them make an excuse. But never turn them down.
Yeah.
Always build them up.
Always.
Yeah.
So that's my advice.
That's good, though, because you hit on like 2 or 3 questions I was about to ask you anyway. Man, that's big. The role of a parent in an athlete's life, not even athletes alone. I'm talking about just when it comes to academics, man, when it comes to anything that your child is putting his mind to, is putting his heart in, you got to understand your role as a parent is to sacrifice. It ain't no room for selfishness when you got a gifted child that has shown interest in something. So what you didn't get to do when you was young? It is what it is. It wasn't for you. It was for you to learn so that they can come after you and you can teach them everything that you know. So they won't make the same mistakes. It ain't about you. Like just on a side note, before y'all have kids, I'm talking to the people that before you have kids, man, understand it ain't about you no more. Sacrifices got to be made. And you just heard it from the horse's mouth. I understand. I got a daughter that runs track. I said in the sun, this is no exaggeration. I said in the sun at least 150 hours this summer alone. I didn't want to be at no track meets, but I pushed my daughter. I pushed her. I was there for her. I coached her. I let the coaching do their thing. We traveled out of town. We did everything. I had stuff I had to do, but I made sacrifices, and guess what? She ranked number 7 in the nation now.
Yeah.
Sacrifices. Jason sitting next to me, he ranked. Sacrifices. So don't think that just because you're their parent, that your job is to just break them and tear them down or just to build them up and not be real with them. Like, your job is to make sacrifices, man.
Yeah.
That was just a side note. That was a good point, Mo. For real.
That's a great point. Like
Thanks.
I said, boy, he over there telling my story a little bit, man. I know the same feeling, and I coach. So one of the phrases we use all the time is coach hard, but we love harder. And that's all that played through my mind the whole time you talking. Yeah, sometimes it feel like, dang, Pop's on me. Dang, it's because he see it. I'm telling you, we are experienced as adults, man. We've been through it. We sat in the same seat. We could have went the same route. So he's experienced. Everything he's telling you is from experience that he's been through. Yeah. And I promise you, if he's telling it to you, it's real. No, we wouldn't want to sit here and tell you nothing false, nothing fake. We wouldn't want to misguide you in no way at all. But man, that touched me a lot, bro. That testimony right there, because that's real. And as parents, man, that's what we got to do. We got to guide them. We got to mold them.
Yep.
Like you said, sacrifices, man. That's why we here at the end of the day. And then when you said be real with them, man, it's a lot of, and like I said, I'm going to go back to me coaching. I know a lot of kids, man, we sit here and tell them this and this and this, but half the time that's not the story, man.
Yep.
Like you got to be honest with them. I can't sit here and tell this kid, oh, you gonna do this, when he not even a star talent at all. I can't do that. That's unfair to him, and that's unfair to me. That's not my job. Like you said, it just gotta be real with these kids, man. And sometimes it might hurt, but at the end of the day, it's to build you, it's to help you grow. So
That's good.
man, that was a good story right there.
That's good.